Namaskar, Prash. Thank you so much for coming back again. And
Yeah.
today we would like to discuss a different topic from the ones that we've done till now, although you've spoken about this on other channels. But I
Yes.
would like to ask you about Vedic astrology, about Jyotish, and how can we use the knowledge of Jyotish to make our lives better, and how does this knowledge help us in understanding the universe and the existence that we have, and how do we really, how much should we go into it, because there's a big trend that everybody seems to be running towards Vedic astrology now.
Yes.
How deep should we go, and how do we use that knowledge, is really what I'd like to ask you. Thank you.
Yes. I mean, I think the fact that many people now want to actually use Vedic astrology and are turning towards it is a good sign that people want to know about themselves,
Right.
because there is always a curiosity, anyways.
Mm.
Like if you are a spirited being and if you have, I think you will have a curiosity to know more about yourself. And
True.
like that is a very natural curiosity.
Mm.
And out of all the tools which are available on this earth to find out about yourself, more and more people are realizing that Vedic astrology, Jyotish, Vedic astrology is the foremost. It is the strongest. It is the clearest. So this realization, it has taken a while, 20,
True.
30, 40, 50 years for that to happen. But now people are slowly realizing that that is better than the other systems of divination or learning about. So when people go into this, they should realize one thing though,
Mhm.
that it is Vedic astrology. Okay, like there's Western astrology and this is Vedic. There's Chinese, there is Mayan.
Yes.
Okay, there's all
Yes.
kinds of ones, but this one is Vedic. So the important term here is Vedic.
True. Mm.
Like, so if it's Vedic astrology, then they have to have curiosity about that word as
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
well. What does that Vedic mean now? Like,
Yes.
this
Yes.
if this is Vedic astrology and this is the most strongest system and seems to be giving most clear results and it seems to be most accurate and it seems to be more on the point,
True.
then what is this Vedic system from which this comes from? Because it means
Mm.
it's coming out of this Vedic system. So the
True.
curiosity should also go in that direction
Yes.
as to the roots and origins of this Vedic astrology, which is lies in the term Vedic. So
Yes.
what is this Vedic? So according to me, Vedic astrology and interest in it is a very good thing all over the world,
Mm.
in the sense then that it will actually increase the interest in Vedic, because it'll open the door. Like Vedic astrology is like a
Right.
door,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and out of which you enter a room.
Right.
That room is Vedic. Okay.
Right.
Now, even when you enter a house, right, you
Mm.
don't keep on looking at the door, right?
True. Yes.
You don't keep on looking. You start looking at the room. What all
Yeah.
is in the room? These objects. What is there? What is that? Like what?
True.
You don't keep on looking at the door. But right now, what is happening is a lot of people are just focusing on the door.
Mm. Oh,
They're staring at the door
okay.
for too long.
Okay.
They're standing outside and they're looking at the door, and they're just
Okay.
standing staring at the door.
Right. Right. Right.
Door is taking you into a room. So
Okay.
it's
Mm.
time to start looking at the
At the room.
room.
Mm.
And which is a big hall, like it's a big space, that room, the
True.
Vedic space.
True.
So the curiosity should go from there to there. So,
Okay.
and in that way, like obviously, like whenever Jyotish tells you something about yourself, okay,
Mm.
and the three nakshatras or whatever way they start, you
Mm.
know, and they come to know something about themselves, then they say, oh yeah, that's true, like that's a fact. Okay,
Mm.
I'm like this, or this is the case, or whatever. So that just is there to give you a sense of actual realization
Yes.
that this is not a bogus
True. That there
science.
is some depth to
Like,
this.
there's some reality to this.
Reality.
Like it's
Yes.
not a joke
Mm.
or it's not some bogus thing. It's actuality. So you learn something about yourself, and at the same time, you reaffirm the fact that this science also knows about it. So
True.
something, so both things happen. So
Yes.
it just deepens your interest
Mm.
in Vedic things, and it deepens your interest in the fact that this multiverse has some mechanisms in place,
True.
that this is actually like a whole system.
Right.
This is not a random universe we are living in,
Yes.
where things just happen by chance or by happenstance.
Right.
Like this whole thing is a huge, big system, and there are rules of that system. There are actual workings of that system. So even that realization is new for some people.
Mm.
Like, okay,
Mm.
so for them, like that part, and then what are the rules and what is this Vedic thing? That's what the main thing is. That's what people should focus on, actually, according to me. You know, like that, from like learning something about your chart. That is all well and good. Okay, you come to know self reference, I call it. You can
Right.
self refer
Right.
using the science to
Mm.
yourself, and then you don't, you're not that surprised. Like a lot of
Mm.
people have this question, like, why am I like this?
Mm.
Why
True.
am I like that?
Right. Right.
Why do I have this thing?
Mm.
And this can tell you why.
Mm.
Like, but again, to change
Mm.
from any negative issues or problems or anything, you have to work.
Right.
Jyotish will not tell you that,
Mm.
how to get out of that why. It will just give you the why.
Right.
But then still the work has to be done by you
Right. Right.
to change anything
Mm.
about yourself. And that's where the whole Vedic full paradigm will have to come in. Now, how to work on myself, how to evolve, how to change myself, how
Right.
to change my current situation, how to change my present way of being.
Mm.
All that is the next step, obviously.
Mm.
And if you just keep on staring at this door,
Mm.
you will never get to those things. You will have to start looking into the room.
Right.
I mean, for a while it's okay. Like even if you go to a new house and some door is there and it's very decorative and very nice, you can pay some attention to it for 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But you can't keep on staring at the door only.
Right. Right.
The door leads to somewhere.
Right. True.
So you have to pay attention there. That's what and like right now, it. Like there's so many people and so many channels and so many that
Yes.
things
Yes. I agree.
who are just talking
And
about.
it's increasing by the day. There are more people
Yes,
coming on out there.
yes, yeah. There are thousands of people who are
Mm.
going to Jyotish, and that's okay. The craze is there. It's like
Mm.
almost a craze, but the next step is not happening
Right.
majority of the time,
Right.
and even that is not happening in a proper manner. Is because without the other Vedic knowledge,
Right.
Vedic astrology doesn't stand by itself,
Mm.
and it becomes totally twisted. A lot of misinformation and a lot of nonsense comes into it. And a
Yes.
newcomer, a new person coming into this, who's seeing this for the first time, they have no clue
Right.
which is misinformation, which is not,
Mm.
what is the truth, what is not,
Mm.
what is just bogus nonsense, what is real science. They can't tell these things. It
Right.
becomes harder and harder for a new person to come in, because if there's so much saturation of misinformation and nonsense
Right.
in regards to the subject, then it gets sullied. The waters get sullied.
Silent. Yeah. True.
Yeah.
So, if I
Yeah.
was to understand it correctly, the next step one
Yeah.
can take is
Yes.
to understand that you have these planets, the grahas, sorry,
Yeah.
grahas,
Yeah.
not planets,
Grahas,
really,
yeah.
grahas which rule us, and to start to establish a relationship with them, to understand that they are beings, and to recognize
Yeah.
them, to just, you know, look at them and look at the sky. Is that the starting point once you open that door and then walk in?
Yeah, the grahas are like, that's a graha is the important thing, because most people call it planets still,
Right.
because they're not planets, because it's the
It
Western
grips you.
terminology
Right.
from astronomy, which has come, which is
Right.
not true. But grahas means, grahan means like Caesars.
Yeah, it grips. Yeah.
They're
Right.
Caesars.
Seizes you.
So what they do, they seize you. They
Yes.
seize you as per your past karma,
Right. Right.
past karmas. As per your past karmas, they seize you in the
Yeah.
present.
Right.
Okay.
True.
So finally, they're not doing anything
Right.
more than what you have done.
Right. Right.
They are just giving you the circumstance
Right.
or impulses and seizing based on what you've done in the past.
Yes.
Now, if you get an idea of, I'm going to be seized like this,
Yes. Right.
okay, so then it's better to know that
True.
than not know that at all. So when it's not like a surprise to you.
Yes, true. It's an
You are
energy.
like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Now you are aware.
you're aware. So you can have
And
your consciousness can be
yeah,
activated because it
yeah,
affects the mind. Once you've explained this, that the
yes,
grahas
yes,
they seize the mind. So the
yes,
consciousness can have the awareness that this is what it's doing to the mind.
yes. So you are more outside of it then.
Outside of it, the observer.
Though then you not so see so much.
Yes.
You're not caught up in it. You have a third party perspective
Yes. Yes. Right.
on the whole situation.
The observer's perspective.
Yeah,
True.
yeah. Rather than, so you can be objective about it.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
so that objectivity is the main goal
Mm.
here, and instead of that, people are getting caught up even more in
Yes.
subjectivity instead of getting more objective.
And they're
Actually,
becoming more and more fatalistic about it, that the
yeah,
control factor is not being understood, that you have the control.
yeah. Obviously, because for that you have to become more objective. The more objective you are,
Yes.
you're automatically going to not feel trapped.
Yes.
Now, like, okay, it's seizing me like this, but I can take this decision by my own consciousness, by my own will.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so then you are not totally in the hands of the graha anymore.
True.
So you've gone beyond it.
Right.
Because on all the Vedic stories, the
Right.
beings which are at higher level, like Ravan, Hanuman,
Yeah.
all
Control
these,
the plan.
they had
Control the grass.
got control over the grass. They were gone beyond the grass
Yes.
and beyond the control of the grass.
Mm.
Again, if you don't pay attention to the Vedic mythology or that thing, you will not get this kind of feedback or this kind of understanding.
Mm.
So that, what is the point here? Point is not to get just seized by it and just say like, okay, this is what had to happen and it's happening now.
Right.
There's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
Like,
True.
But that is not so.
Right.
There's always something you can do about something.
Right.
Like, there's never a situation where you can't do something about something.
Right.
In this multiverse, that's never the case.
Right. Otherwise, there would be no free will aspect, that we are here to, like you've said earlier once, I think in one of your videos, that we are here to change that. That's
yes, obviously
that's the whole purpose of our existence.
Yeah, and change is for yourself. You have to evolve yourself.
Yeah.
You can't change someone else.
Mm.
You have to understand.
True.
Neither can you change circumstance.
Yes.
You can't change, but you can change yourself.
Right. Yeah.
As not to be seized by that energy.
By the right.
Yeah. So then you take control of your life in your own hands.
Right.
Like, rather than your past karmas.
Right.
Taking control of your present completely.
Right. So in that sense, a birth chart is like where you left your life in your previous birth. And since you have not done any major tapasya in this lifetime, everything that you pretty much left at your last lifetime is what is the energy is what is going to get carried forward in the next life. And that's what is going to happen as your karmic burden.
Yes. So like that's why. So that's why in Jyotish we have all these things, like we have dashas.
Right.
Okay. Which are like the graha's periods.
True.
So when the graha period changes, whenever the periods change, your whole mindset changes.
Yeah, it does. Yes.
Your circumstance change, your mindset changes, everything changes. So you suddenly in a different kind of environment, your mindset is different, everything just suddenly.
Yeah. Like from a Jupiter Mahadasha to a Shani Mahadasha, there's a distinct difference.
Distinct difference, and you're not the same person anymore.
No, you're not.
Like, it's like this is a different personality now. Like it's not this, it's not the same personality.
True.
Now, so that cuts to the like if a being can be the same through all the Mahadashas, their character or their way of being and that thing, then that shows that being is able to go above the grahas.
Right. True.
Because they're not getting affected by the. I mean, people are affected every day, even by the lunar cycle. Every day they are affected. Yeah. So it's a day-to-day.
Yes.
Think, forget about like long periods, like 10 years or 15 years.
Yes.
Yes.
Nakshatras change and your behavior and your emotions change accordingly.
Yeah. So it's a day-to-day change, and fluctuations happen, but people just do not know why this is happening to me.
Right.
So Jyotish can shed light, like the science of light. It just sheds light on, okay, this is how it's happening and this is what is going on. Like that's all. But the point is to like, you can't end there. You have to move forward. Like you have to, gain something more from it.
So
how do I
basically,
change something?
yeah. So basically, for a person has to get that knowledge about themselves and then
Yeah.
immediately go back and start to implement that knowledge and use that
Yeah.
knowledge and get wiser through it by actually doing the tapasya and starting to change
Yeah.
the energy that is there.
Yeah. But even the term tapasya, they will not come to know until they go into the Vedic thing, because that's a Vedic term.
Right.
Tapasya is a Vedic term now.
Yes.
So then you
Yes.
will have to go into that room again. And then you
Right.
have to figure out what tapasya is. So
Yes. Yes.
that's where I had I've done a lot of talks on tapasya being praising, bowing, serving,
Right.
TBL.
Right.
I've done a lot of talks on that, and
Yes.
that is all from that room you learn. And that's why I said people who are going into Jyotish and learning Jyotish should read my Peace Gita book first.
True.
Okay, because it'll give them some Vedic grounding
Right.
before
Right.
they even go into this.
Right.
Otherwise staring at this door for very long, and especially
Mm.
if a lot of misinformation is there on the door,
True.
is gonna be not
Mm.
exactly good for them. So that is also a problem, because a lot of the information is misinformation.
Yes. True.
So
Absolutely.
so people get caught up in all of that, and
True.
just trying to discern that takes them years,
True.
to
Yeah.
just figure out the milk from the water and
Yeah. Right.
distill it
Right.
out. That will take years just to do that.
True. True.
So it is a little bit. I would suggest if beings are connected to nature,
Mm.
and if beings are having some grounding and they have that, then they would
Mm.
have some more common sense to automatically filter out a lot of the nonsense which is
Yes.
around.
Right.
So again, that is a Vedic concept. Connecting with nature is very much a part of the Vedic way of being. So
True.
so all of that should all happen together first. Taking control of the body, basic control of the body, and which I call basics and
Right.
stuff, that has to happen
Right.
first
Right.
before you start looking into the science.
Mm.
And that's why I say that, because
True.
otherwise, people who are coming from outside, no one tells it to them. All the
Mm.
people who are getting interest in Jyotish,
Right.
no channels will tell them this. Look,
Yes.
center, do the
Mm.
meditation first, ground, um, connect with nature. After that, start looking at the science.
In fact, I feel that these channels are sucking you more into,
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
destiny aspect of it,
yeah,
the fatalistic aspect of it.
yeah,
So people
yeah,
are believing so much more that they are just spending time looking at what's going to happen next
yeah,
and just waiting for that fatalistic
yeah,
approach that, now this is going to happen, I can't do anything. So
yeah.
it's
So
increasing the fatalistic
yes,
behavior.
obviously fatalistic, and it's mostly okay, they want something positive. It's just
Yes.
okay, and it's not based on action at all. Then
Yeah.
you think, okay, everyone is waiting for a lottery to happen
Right.
or an accident to happen. Okay,
Mm. True.
it's either it'll be bad accident or it'll be a lottery. It's
Yeah.
or both.
And then it's a feeling that the locus of control is outside of you, not an internal locus of control.
Yeah,
The locus of control is external, that some planet is grahas will do something and then something will happen to you.
or it might happen for you. Okay, I'm not saying you might not win a
You might
lottery.
not, right, right.
You might win a lottery. Then what?
Then, yeah, right.
Yeah,
At some point,
yeah,
everybody has to go
yeah,
towards
yeah,
tapasya.
yeah. I mean, my point is that okay, I mean, these things are fashioning your circumstance. Okay, but what do you do in that circumstance?
Right.
Finally, you are the doer.
Hmm.
You are the one who is going to take actions. So you
Right.
will always have to do some actions. What actions are you going to take, and what actions are you going to do?
Right.
That's what your focus should be on. What action should I do? Because
Hmm.
you are here as a being. You exist as a being, and you will do actions.
Hmm.
No one can live without doing actions. There's no living being
Hmm.
which can live without doing actions. So your whole focus has to be learning what action should I do,
Right.
and what action should I not do. That's all. So that's where the whole Vedic thing comes into play. It talks about actions,
Right.
what actions to do, what actions not to do. You have
Right.
human form right now, you have human body. To even take care of it or take control of this human body requires
Right.
certain actions.
True. True.
So that you have to do just because
Hmm.
you are in this situation. So
Right.
all of that is necessary. You
Right.
cannot without that move an inch forward.
Hmm.
So that's why the whole Vedic paradigm
Mm.
people should open up to, and I think it'll happen in time. Right now, I have a feeling all the people
Yes.
mostly who are going into Vedic astrology right now,
Right.
like, and this craze is there right now. At some point, they will have to come into the Vedic as a whole.
So they'll
You know,
open the door and walk in. They'll not keep staring at the door.
yes, yes, yes,
So people
yes,
who think they're trying to master, they want to master Vedic astrology means is akin to really staring at the door, isn't it?
yes. I mean, you can't master anything like that because you're not mastering yourself first.
Mm. True.
Vedic astrology, you cannot, like, as much as Vedic astrology you can, that thing as much you can master yourself,
Yes. Yes.
which nobody's telling them. It's just not like you watch 100 channels and get 1,000 misinformations, and then you will not have any mastery from that.
True.
You know, you'll just have indigestion from that. Like, so,
Yes. And yeah, it'll be all
yeah,
conflicting and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
waste
You'll
of
just have
time.
indigestion from that and incoherence in your mind. Like,
Mm.
so that's all you will have. Like,
Mm.
so, like, mastery starts with taking control of one's body and one's actions. So
Right.
all of that is the basic thing, because once you take control of the body, then you take control of the mind. Once you take
Mm.
control of the mind, then you take control of your actions. Once you take control of your actions, from there the whole story begins.
Right.
You know,
So the whole mind-body consciousness triangle that
yeah,
you speak
yeah,
about
yes,
is what
yes,
needs to be understood and
yes,
activated, really. That
yes,
the consciousness has to be aware that the impulses of the grahas come to the mind. The
yeah,
body has to act on those impulses. So
yes,
if we activate our consciousness, we will know what actions to take and not just get the
yeah,
impulses from the mind and only act on those impulses. Am I
yes.
correct with that?
Yes, yeah. That's why, like, there was sun, moon, ascendant triangle in
Yes, yes.
Jyotish.
Right,
Okay,
exactly.
in Jyotish we have that,
The
and then
Sudarshan
there's
chakra.
and then first, fifth, ninth house
Yes, the triangle.
triangle we have. Like, so we have all these triangles there. Like, you can understand them from that
Right.
particular angle too, if you so desire and if you so wish
True,
to
true, true.
to understand that. But
Mm.
finally, it'll come down to, there'll be nothing which will take you away from disciplining yourself. Okay, it'll come down to that.
Mm.
Like, so, like, and that, without that, you cannot approach the science. I'm telling very, very clearly, like, and you will not be able to understand the science. And that's the thing which people don't like. People don't want to do that, and they just want to get this without actually changing their habits, self, in any way. As they are, they want to master it, like you said, master it.
Yes, yes,
As
master.
they are, like,
Yeah.
no change
No
in yourself.
preparedness. Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to, like, that thing. But
Right.
that, I'm just telling you, it cannot happen. It has
Mm.
never happened in the past. It's not going to happen right now in the present. It'll never happen in the future.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this multiverse does not work like that,
Yeah.
and nothing works like that. You know?
So one is pretty much stagnant if one is doing that. There's no growth
Yeah.
happening then.
No, I mean, it's getting worse.
It's getting worse. Yeah.
Yeah, because your head will be filled with all kinds of that thing. That's why a lot of people who are, like, studying Jyotish now for 4 years still can't see any charts and stuff, like, and it confuses them even more. And it
Yes.
creates a whole bunch of thousands of rules and thousands of strange things they have heard,
True.
all put together, creates a soup which
Yes.
no one can eat, like, or drink, like, it's
True.
inedible, like,
Yeah.
you know.
True. Absolutely.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. So
So what is it that a person should? What should a person do to really approach just the whole concept of Jyotish? Open the door, understand about it, and what are the next steps that we need to do if a
just
person is
first
interested?
try to find out what is Vedic.
What is Vedic? Yeah, right.
What is Vedic way of life?
Yes.
Who are the beings which created this science?
Hmm.
Like rishis.
Yeah.
What was their lifestyles? What kind of beings were they?
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
which created that, and so then you'll get some idea of, like, so if you want to learn this, you have to be more like them.
Yes.
If you're not
Right.
like them, you cannot.
So do the basics, do the grounding,
Yeah,
become like
yeah.
them to get into the science.
Yes, obviously, like, first you have to figure out, like, that's not natural, isn't it? Like, who made this? Who are these beings?
Hmm.
What were they like?
Right.
And all of that has to come, and that's what the Vedic did, because they lived a Vedic way of being
Right.
life, like Vedic, which
Yes.
means like something coming from the creator itself,
Right.
like the commandments from the creator, like
Mm.
the rules of this multiverse. So they were going as per that. So they knew about that. So what is all this? And that should come first.
Right.
And then like those beings could come up with the science or practice the science, or, like add to it, and, learn it to in a mastering kind of way, what we taught mastering. Like, but that's not possible for beings right now who have no control and mastery of their own body.
Right. Right.
So this whole thing has to become clear. But I think it'll become clear as
True.
finally, like the rush is there now.
Yes.
And finally there'll be an awareness and understanding.
True. Yes.
That, so it'll happen.
I agree that because after you spend a few years trying to get into the science, and then you get all confused because of, I mean, this is my own experience I'm sharing from. Then you realize that it's not about learning which is the best technique and which is the best system and which is the best Ainamsha and all of that. It's just about how do you use this knowledge to your benefit.
Yes. Yeah, which is the most natural thing. I mean, otherwise, what's the point?
Right.
If it's not used for your own evolution, if you're not evolving,
right.
What use is this?
Right.
I mean, it's not a time waste. It's not just like a way to pass time and get old and die.
Yes.
Like, I mean, so it's not to be used like a toy like that.
True.
Yeah. I mean, it's not for that thing. And some people, for that, it has become a way of making quick money. And,
yes. True.
So like a livelihood, like making quick money, because a lot of people have all kinds of insecurities, and, they have all these fears about the future. A lot of people have fears about the future. So one can always cash in on that. So, I mean, those people are doing a negative karma, whosoever is doing that, and
True.
that's not the right thing to do. And without any knowledge, they are actually guiding people. They can't even guide themselves.
True.
But then you're guiding others, and that's all not right.
Yes.
So there's a lot of misuse happening. Only good thing is a lot of people are getting interested all over the world. That is only good news.
That's it, yeah.
And from that, the Vedic word or Vedic thing should increase. Focus should come from Vedic astrology to Vedic.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Which is a very natural progression. Like, it's not something out of the
right. True.
box to just focus from Vedic astrology to Vedic. Like, what is Vedic? Because it's a more blanket term. It's a more umbrella term.
True.
Than just Vedic astrology.
Right. True.
So that's what, if even from this talk, if people get that some sense that we should, so that'll be a good enough reason for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
That they start looking at the room, and a very big room. This is like, it's a very huge.
Yeah, and astrology is just one aspect of it. Then, when you open into the whole Vedic world,
right now it's just a door.
It's just a door. Yeah.
It's just a doorway. Because other things were not so, let's say, accessible to people, and they're not so enchanting.
Yes.
But knowing about yourself and finding a divination system is always more enchanting.
True. And the whole predictive aspect, people are more interested in predicting what will happen in their lives, and the fear of future and what's going to happen.
But that is also changing. A lot of people just want to know about themselves now.
Yes.
I mean,
right.
That is also. So,
that is also,
But even so, it's enchanting in any way.
It is.
So point is, like, from that, like, at least they will come there, and then from there they'll move into that. And like, so this progression will happen, and that's what. Yeah,
I feel it's very individual. At some point, you do get fed up of, just looking staring at the doorway, which is just understanding what the system is about, and then you realize you get confused, you get all fuzzy about it, and then there is I can share my experience that there is a point at which you feel that there has to be something more to this than just understanding.
Yes, and there's a whole, like, a whole world.
It is a body of knowledge. which if we start to use it, we can get a lot of wisdom from it.
Yes.
If we start using it on ourselves, improve to evolve, that's where we'll start seeing the benefit of that knowledge.
Yes, because otherwise you'll know like okay, this is your chart, this life, and if you don't do something about it, and it might be bad this life, then it might be even worse next one.
True.
Like if you don't do, I mean, what are you to do right now? Like a lot of people don't like their chart. When they see their chart, they say like, oh, it could have been so much better. Oh, why is this not like that?
True.
Point is like, how are you going to improve it? That's the more important bit, isn't it?
Right. And it's good information to get if you have a particular dasha coming up, that you at least know that this is going to be giving me these negative impulses. I have to be more aware of what I need to do and not get caught up in those impulses.
Yes, the outsider's perspective, the third party perspective, the objective perspective.
True.
Yeah, and on top of that, then again, being proactive about doing the right action in the present to make a better future.
Right.
So all of that, for that, you'll need Vedic knowledge.
Right.
Just Vedic astrology would not do.
True. Yes.
So you will need the holistic thing. Like again, you will have to find that, and that's where I said like Peace Gita is a very good place to start.
Way too. Yeah.
So I like put that book into.
Yes. So I think I'm going to add it to my description again. Just that to get an introduction to Vedic, this is the book that you could.
Yeah, like it's like a sar. It's like for the right now, for the current times, it's like a sort of like essence of the Vedic way.
Yeah.
From a modern current perspective, like how what is happening right now, how beings are operating at this current time and space, within this current paradigm. So
true. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So hopefully this should make a lot of people understand that you have to open the door, walk in and understand the whole Vedic world, and not just remain, confined to the astrology side of it.
No, don't keep staring at the door.
Don't keep staring at the door. So go into the room and explore.
Explore. Yes, Roshni.
So that's nice.
Very nice.
Do you think we should leave it at this today?
Yes.
Take it from here.